Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, and this video is kind of coming. But anyways, sorry about the fan in the background. Of course, it's still hot. But I'm going to give people a quick little fair warning before I even get into any of this. This is going to most definitely be a rant, and it might even seem like a low-key crash out. I'm not gonna lie, but this is about the censorship stuff that's been going on recently, and quite frankly, I'm I'm utterly just baffled about how some people are just taking this thing, because it's like, I'm gonna flat out say my opinions on all this stuff, and I will flat out say that I do think some people's logic is flawed. This isn't really a thing to try and get on all the people that are defending the censorship thing, but it's just like, you didn't think things through if you really are defending it. I'm just gonna say it like it is, because first off, this mess kind of like seems like it started with Collective Shout, which is like a group that's trying to like push credit card companies into delisting a whole bunch of different games and all that on Steam or whatever. And again, I don't know if everything's fully connected, but I know these two things are definitely connected. The Collective Shout thing with credit card companies. So they thought, okay, a whole bunch of like games were quote unquote problematic and all that, and they said that it was getting delisted because it was for protection of the kids, or that usual line that I've heard so many times that it's ridiculous. Let's be for real. History is already repeated on that one. But here's the thing I'm getting at though. One, what do credit card companies have to do about what we're spending our money on? They're the middleman. They should have no say-so or standing on that. We've already seen that crap with Pixiv and all that. And you want to know what they did? They just flat out said, okay, we're not going to listen to you, and flat out blocked the UK, I think even Europe in general, and America from paying for stuff. So artists kind of lost a little bit of income from that because they didn't get as much support from the people that actually wanted to support them. And it just happened with a lot of the same other stuff too. Like, they literally looked at that stuff and just laughed, and they're just like, haha, okay, we don't need you. So you can't use Visa, you can't use MasterCard, you can't use PayPal for some stuff, and people have noticed that a while back. Collective Shell seems to try to escalate that mess. So a whole bunch of stuff got delisted from Steam, they got delisted from itch.io and a few other places. The problem with the delisting is the fact that people didn't get the money back. No refunds, no nothing. People didn't get their money back. That's already, if you want to be honest, fucked up. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to have language in this too. But it is fucked up. It's like, it's one thing to try and say and claim, oh, it's for the kids, but you didn't pay back the people that stepped and actually paid for that stuff? What? But then it gets even worse where you actually do your research, because, hey, guess what? I don't know how many people have heard of a Netflix show called Cuties that used to exist on Netflix, and it got removed. You want to know why? Because it was little girls, probably around the ages that will put them in elementary or middle school. They were wearing almost nothing on stage in front of people, twerking. And if anybody doesn't know what twerking is, it's a very, very suggestive type of dance that only adults should be doing. Collective Shout wanted to defend that show. I'm sorry, you're talking about for the protection of minors, but you're going to defend stuff that literally should have been classified as quote-unquote PDF file bait. What? And that is real kids, not no fictional stuff. Which, again, also is another issue, but I'm digressing. But it's like, you defended that show of all shows, which should have rightfully been removed, and it is removed, but they defended that. I'm sorry, that sounds almost like the people that wants to say that WoW is so bad, but they defend Shota. It's literally the same thing. It's like, yeah, you might hate some things, but you're going to sit back and turn a blind eye to part of it. What? And then, this is just a Collective Shout thing and the credit card company thing. And also, people have been blasting credit card phone numbers a lot too, and it's just hilarious. And I love the fact that a lot of people are like, no, you guys are screwing up. And let's be for real, let's be honest here. People are just going to find a way around it anyways. Like, okay, we can't use our Visa, we can't use our MasterCard, we can't use our PayPal. Okay, we'll find a way around it. Like, that's why some people started getting into like using gift cards and all that now, because you're not going to stop people from getting what they want to pay for if you really want to be honest. At the end of the day, but this also leads into the next thing I want to bring up: the UK law. And oh boy, this one's a doozy. It also leads into the US law that they're trying to pass. Oh boy. And this is going to get a little bit political, I'm sorry. But here's the thing. The UK law wants literal digital footprints on trying to prove that you're legal age. Now, this law makes you have to submit facial recognition and identification to prove that you're an adult. To make matters a little bit worse, the US version wants to include credit cards of all things. Why do I need my credit card for something that's free? Fucking idiots. But anyways, this has already been enacted in the UK. I think it's even throughout Europe. So, yeah. But a lot of places have already been hit with this law and now are forced to quote-unquote conform to it, or they just won't be able to operate in the UK or the Europe or eventually US or whatever. Here's my thing with this problem though. It's again the same old tactic of protecting the kids. But there's a problem with this. One, there's already been people that was trying to use VPN, and now UK starting to try and say, oh, well, you're banned from using VPN. Like, what? But two is the simple fact that there's already been a kid that used facial recognition on a video game character, and it actually worked. So, yeah, you got a flaw in your system right there. But imagine, they were 10. But here's the other thing, too. It's just, like, at the end of the day, it's kind of, like, promoting them to try and find ways around it, too. It's like, okay, you need a credit card, you need facial recognition, you need an ID. Kids are already stealing stuff from their parents for gotcha-related stuff. And that's already pretty wrong in its own right, and a whole different can of worms. But now you're kind of just promoting them to sit and do this crap with, like just getting on websites. And it's like, do people not remember that we have parental controls and age ratings? And parents can just be parents and sit up and try to keep an eye on what their kids are doing more? And of course, somebody wanted to bring up, like, even on my Discord, somebody brought this up, where it's like, oh, well, parents can't keep track of everything. That's still the fault of the parent. That's still the fault of whoever's raising these kids. That's still the fault of whoever's watching them. Because of the simple fact that it's like, hey, guess what? You still fail if you don't sit up and teach your kid that that's wrong. But I'm going to leave it at that. That's a whole different can of worms. And that's been debated to hell and back for years now. But still, here's the other thing about all the facial recognition. I don't know if people have heard about the whole T app situation, which in a way it's kind of deserved, but I digress. But that app, there was a whole bunch of women on there that was basically going through sharing all the photos and info about guys that they've dated or whatever. I don't think all of them were guys they're dated to, but again, digressing. But the point is that they had to get on that website by giving facial recognition, by giving IDs. That site had a leak, and a pretty easy site to leak too, apparently, from what I've heard, because it was public domain info, which you failed on your security, so yeah, kudos to that. But now there's basically millions of people with their info out there, and they can easily get doxxed and harassed and all this other sorts of crap. Yeah, you see what the problem is with that? Like, that's just asking for easy access to all that type of stuff. And somebody might sit up and try and make the excuse, well, the government's got this stuff and all that. It's easier for them to hide it. But that's the problem. Why does the government need this info? The government is already how you make these IDs. The government is already how you get these credit cards. Because that info is still using your, well, at least in the US, it's still using your social security. Like, I had to go through that crap when I got a prepaid card. I had to give up my social security number to even get the card to begin with. But they already have that info. Why do they need more of it? Then, on top of that, too, one of the reasons why they sat back and had this protection of the kids, it listed a whole bunch of different things and all that, where it's like, okay, the usual stuff like pornography and trying to keep them off of suspicious type of things or whatever. Why is illegal immigration one of the things that was listed? And it was on the UK one too, I checked. But, and you can look it up too, it's an easy little Google search. But why is illegal immigration one of the things they listed? What does illegal immigration have to do with censorship? Huh? And then on top of that too is the fact that it's hitting so many different sites now. It's not just the quote-unquote porn gooner sites or whatever that people want to try and make the excuse about. And by the way, if it was about porn, people have that crap downloaded on their computers. Some people even have physical copies of stuff and everything. They got their porn. They have their gooner material, if you want to be honest. So it never was about that, let's be for real. But it's still the fact that you got a whole bunch of sites across the board hit with this mess. Steam, itch.io, Twitch is possibly going to start doing this stuff too. YouTube's already trying to implement a system about it, and this is a stupid way they're going about it. I'm going to call that out too, where it's like trying to basically track the videos that you watch to use that to verify your age. I'm sorry, what? So a grown adult looking at something like maybe SpongeBob memes is now considered to be underage? Are you serious? That's how flawed that system is probably going to end up being, but I don't know for sure, but you can see the obvious kinks in that mechanic. But okay, let's see here. There was those sites that was hit with it. Twitter's already gotten hit with it. Discord's gotten hit with it. Like, it's so much crap, and it's like, it's always the excuse of, oh, it's for the kids, it's to protect them. No, it's not. Quit lying. Because if you wanted that protection, hey, guess what? You can go out and actually do it. You don't have to do it online. You do not have to do it online. Because, again, we already have protection measures in place. What are you trying to sip and do, saying that those protection measures don't work? I'm sorry, if a kid gets their hands on a game that's for 18 plus, and the parents knew that it was 18 plus, the parents failed, not the system that they already implemented. That's already what happened with Grand Theft Auto, where it was a hot coffee thing, and all of a sudden we sitting up having all these kids sitting up getting basically free access to all these quote-unquote porn-related little scenes or whatever. And it didn't fully show everything. It was just like hinting at it, but it's still enough to make you go, okay, what the hell? But it's still the fact that they went and quickly changed that age rating to mature. So hey, guess what? If you're getting Grand Theft Auto for your kids even after that age rating change, that is your fault. And it's nothing new. They have been in there for who knows how long. It is something called the ESRB, which is about age ratings and all that type of stuff for games. They have that stuff on shows and everything. It says for mature audiences, if it's to, like, they have a teen rating if it's for people that they suggest should be teenagers before they watch it. Like, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. Open up your fucking eyes. But then it's also the fact that it's like, okay, well, we're going to sit back and have, like, again, the facial recognition and all that. How are you truly going to go about it? Because I could pull up a photo of the dude from the Giga Chad meme, and it would work for facial recognition. I'm like, what? Because it's a picture of a real person. Like, okay, it's going to make you access your camera. Just hold up the picture to the camera. Like, what? But then on top of that, too, is the fact that it's like, And I'm not trying to give people ways to get around it and all that too. It's like, I'm not trying to promote that. Here's what I'm getting at. Why do people need this info? Like, why does the government need this info and all that? Especially the photo ID thing. Think about what's on your photo ID for a second. It has your name. It has your address. It already has a picture of you, so why you need a second picture for recognition? But then it also has your blood type, maybe. It might have your height, your weight, your age, your ethnicity. It has all that info. The government should already have this info just for making the ID. Why you need it again? What? Then on top of that too is like, this is another thing that kind of gets me with this as well, where I don't know why it's a thing, but some stuff that's getting hit with this is totally innocent. Like, I'm sorry, but when did something like, say, like, it's understandable if, like, okay, the game removal thing, like Andy and Laylee getting removed, oh yeah, that's definitely way, like, I'm not even going to try to defend that one. That subject was just a lot of things that people didn't want to touch. But then there's also, I've heard that some stuff got hit with it as well, where it was really tame. Like, I think they're trying to target Genshin Impact for this one now, and it's like, the gacha mechanics aside, how is Genshin Impact not for kids? Like, if you remove the gacha mechanics from it, it should be perfectly fine for kids. What's the problem there? Like, dude, that's like trying to sip and D-list Mario Kart. Just because, oh, well, Peach is a woman and might actually influence kids to have weird thoughts. It's like, some of this stuff is grasping at straws. And no, I've literally seen somebody post some stuff like that. I mean, for real. There's somebody that actually said that, I forgot her name, Lily's mom from Pokemon, what was it? Lucamine, I just remembered. Someone said Lucamine was a little kid. She is a grown woman with a daughter. How is she a kid? I'm sorry, what? But it's like, it's such brain-dead excuses for trying to defend this crap, and I'm sorry, it's like, do your research. The illegal immigrant thing really got me, because it's like, how is that even, like, what? But, and then also the whole protection about the kids and all that thing too. I gotta pull out this hypocritical crap. The US wants to try and do this mess. Release the freaking Epstein files then. The Epstein files, hey, guess what? That was a guy that tried to do some messed up crap to kids. The files have names on other people that were trying to do that. You want to protect kids? Release those files. I'm serious about that. And honestly, this long little rant or whatever probably will get me on some sort of list or whatever. I might even get some backlash in the comments. I don't even care. If you're going to sit back and try and come at me, at least get your facts straight. But it's still the fact that it's like, come on, man. Like, this is blatant censorship. I don't know if people have seen Shimonetta. I know the anime community definitely did. This is already stage 1 in that mess. And hey, guess what? It eventually hit censorship, and that got so bad to the point where they were raiding people's houses for that stuff. They were treated worse than actual criminals that may have actually, like, tried to remove somebody from the planet or something like that. I'll put it as that because, you know, there's censorship in what we say, or we might get demonetized on videos because that's stupid. But then it's the fact that it's like, one of the characters, Anna, her parents was one of the biggest advocates for censorship, but because she did not know how to express her feelings for this one guy, she ended up forcing herself on him a lot, doing some weird crap, like setting up the whole cookie thing and all that, threatening others with weapons, and it's like, she turned into an absolute menace. All because she couldn't express how she felt, because she was never allowed to be taught that. Because of censorship was that fucking heavy about anything about the subject, to the point where you couldn't even sit and do hand-waving signals or whatever. It's like, what? And yeah, I know this is an extreme take on it, and it's fiction, but it still kind of proves my point, because it's like, the censorship escalated that far to where her parents actually weren't out about it, and they were horrified, but it was already too late. They already pushed the world to the point where it's like, oh, well, all this heavy censorship is a good thing. Yeah, you really shot yourself in the foot, huh? And we're already seeing, like, some indications that it could get that extreme anyway. Like, they're pushing hard in Europe, and now they're starting to try to move that crap to the US about this mess. Because there was a petition of 300,000 people signing it. 300,000 people living in the UK alone signing that petition. You want to know what the government up and said? Oh, this is just sitting up having people defend PDF files. What? And I have to say PDF files, but you know what I'm actually talking about. But it's like, I'm sorry, almost 500,000 people are considered defending that in the UK. I don't know what the UK's population is. I might look it up and put it in the comments. But that's a lot of people trying to sit back and petition that new law. And you're going to sit up and say that mess? And also, this is my personal opinion, but one of the people that was actually, like, said that comment, like, one of the politicians, I took a look at him, I'm like, okay, you might be doing shady crap behind the scenes, but that's just me assuming. But, let's be for real here. Almost 500,000 people signed that mess. In literally just a few days. And the government's basic response is basically, whoa, nope. Yeah, do people not see what's wrong with this? And yeah, this might also, like, come across as an extreme take too, but I'm gonna be a little bit blunt about this. If they're ignoring words, what do you think the next thing is probably gonna happen? Like, people aren't gonna give up. Like, when you try to tell people not to do something, there's definitely gonna be the ones that will follow it. Sure. But when it comes to stuff that's, like, honestly generally fairly harmless, it's like, okay, I suddenly can't play Sonic the Hedgehog because of how Rouge looks, because I know somebody's going to pull that card eventually, but it's like, when it gets to stuff like that, then you know there's going to be a lot of pushback. And it already has been a lot of pushback. Like I said, people are flaming the credit card company phones over that censorship mess. But it's not just the credit card companies, it's actual governments trying to do that mess too. But it's like, people are going to push back. So when words stop working, guess what the next thing they're probably going to do is? I'm going to pull this up from American history, but we've seen that mess between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X when it came to the whole thing about racism and all that type of stuff. I'm not trying to go the whole woke route, but this is just an example. Malcolm X was an extreme example of it because people were actually fighting the police and everything with them under them. Like, they got sick of the whole words and all that and getting ignored. So they are actually fighting and trying to do all that type of mess. It's like, and again, this is no promotion to go that route. Like, don't go scorched earth. Never go scorched earth. But it's still the fact that it's like, look at history. Do your research. This is nothing new. It's just taking a new format. Like, anybody that's really defending that censorship thing, please really seriously think about everything that it's about. Because, again, I'm from the US and I will pull these cards right here and now. You want to protect the kids? Where's all the missing kids from the border? Where's all the Epstein files? Why did Diddy get off scot-free after we knew what he was doing to actual kids? Yeah, protect the kids, my behind. That's what you're doing. You're sitting up trying to cover up your behinds. Like, come on, man. You're possibly trying to cover your behinds or sit up and have control over, I don't know. Again, assumptions, but it definitely is suspicious. And this is one thing that I honestly have to sit up and say, and it's a very, very good quote that I don't know where my brother got it from, but if one thing's in question, everything's in question. And that's how a lot more people should look at stuff. Read the fine print. Dig up as much info as you can about stuff. It might seem paranoid, I know. But the more you know, the more you're prepared for whatever you're dealing with. And that, at the end of the day, is what I'm trying to sit and say. I mean, come on. This is coming from a guy that's a guide maker on multiple games at this point. And yes, I don't always get my facts straight. I will flat out admit that right now, but I try to do my research at the very least. So, I would like to sit back and at least have a good handle on things before I say or put something out there. That's also included for this video. I went through looking up some stuff. I went through trying to find some resources. I can even link those in the comments if you want. Because let's be for real and honest here. YouTube's weird about trying to do links and all that as well, but the person that uploaded the video can post as many links as they want. I don't never understood that either. But again, I even said references and all that. You can literally look up these laws. It's not even that hard. Because, hey, guess what? There's an internet meme. Fucking Google it. But it's still the fact that it's like, it's not hard to figure all this out. It's not hard to do your research. It's not hard to look all this stuff up. A lot of people might sit up and say, well, not everything's on the internet's true. Well, these are government sites that have this info. So yeah, what's your excuse? But that's the whole thing. Like, I've gone on like almost a half hour for talking about this mess. I'm gonna end it right there, because I don't want to stay up and like keep going through this. And so like the more stressed, the more it seems like I'm probably on something. I don't know. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is definitely a rant. And I might low-key seem like I was crashing out a little bit. I'm not going to deny that. But it's like, I normally do try to stay chill. I normally do try to stay away from this type of stuff. But this is going to be stuff that can affect me pretty greatly. Because I use Discord. I use Twitter. I use YouTube. I'm on this game right here, which already says that you should be 18 plus to play this side of it. You know, the .NET side. But it's like, come on, man. Come on. And I will flat out say this. I really will. There is a good number of people that's trying to defend this whole censorship thing, but you know if it's going to directly affect you or some of the stuff that you're trying to do, you know your tune is going to change. Don't even front. Stop the cap. But anyways, that's all I got to sit and say about this. Now, whatever take somebody gets from it is on them. But like I said, like I usually say, I will monitor comments and all that type of stuff with this type of thing. People can discuss it and whatnot, but if you do, 1, be civil about it. 2, do not absolutely go on a witch hunt towards me or anybody else. I will nuke that comment so fast if it is looking like a witch hunt. And believe me, I have kicked people off my Discord because of that mess. But let's be for real here. Again, how you take it, how you view it, is still up to you. And the biggest thing I want people to take away from this is to truly decide what is right and wrong. To truly think about what is right and wrong. And me personally, I think this level of censorship is wrong. Censorship in itself, if you want to be honest, may or may not be a bad thing, but it depends on how it's used. And it's poorly used here. But that's all for this, guys. Next video I'm going to try to upload is going to be more back to my usual stuff. Like the Kami Hime project videos, maybe some YouTube stuff, maybe some VTuber things. I've already promised a Tevi video a long time ago, and I'm still overdue for that one, as well as a few other games, you want to be honest. And that's the other thing, too. Tevi is a pretty tame game, too. If that gets delisted or removed off of Steam, I'm going to be pissed, because I paid for that game and never played it yet. But again, all this is up to you. So that's why I'm going to leave it at. But that's all for now, guys. More will come soon, and take care.